Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing a little tutorial towards our hashtag Dolls Gone Goth wedding challenge. So on Friday the 13th of August we're going to be doing Mana and I are going to be showing our finished goth wedding dolls. Now everyone and anyone is welcome to join in this challenge. All you need to do is have a doll dressed in a goth style wedding dress. Now remember that goths are not just black. If you pop over to Elise Explosion's channel, she has done a guide to what goth is, and one of the things that she showed was that you can do your goth in, say, black and then choose another colour. I also saw on Melissa's channel, It's a Stroke of Life Melissa, that she had done a pastel goth, and that was fantastic. I really thought that was lovely. She'd done a pastel goth, and so you know, that's another option. Your doll you don't have to dress your doll in black for it to be goth. You don't have to make anything. You've seen on my previous tutorial that if you do want to make something, it doesn't have to be sewn. I literally made a dress out of a bin liner. The idea is that your channel might get a bit more traffic, and on top of that, it's such fun and it's nice to interact with everyone and see everyone's videos. So today I'm going to be making a pom-pom skirt. Now I don't mean this kind of pom-pom skirt. I mean more like a puffball skirt, a skirt that will stick out like this, and you use some kind of stuffing for it to make it stick out, but it's so easy to do. This is the girl I'm going to be using for my wedding doll, so I'm going to make the skirt for her. Let's see, it really is so easy to do. It can be done with glue or it can be sewn. It's entirely up to you. It can be as complicated or as simple as you want. So I'm going to make my pom-pom skirt out of this lovely black silky, it's just like a satiny fabric, but it's actually lining material, which is super cheap to buy. So what I need to do is, because I want the skirt to be about the same length as this skirt and about the same amount of puffiness, I'm going to measure the length. You don't need to worry about a waistband for this skirt. It really is a really easy little skirt. So first I'm going to measure how much material I need for the width of the skirt. So I'm going to go round and round like this, all the way around. Because I want it to be a similar size to this, I can use this as a pattern. So measure it all the way round. It doesn't have to be perfect, it can just be roughly done. So there we are, we've got to there. So I'm just going to do a little snip there in my fabric so I know how far across I need to go. We'll start doing a little tear down there. This fabric should tear pretty well. And then what I need to do is measure the length. So to find the right length, I need to do double the length of this skirt, plus I need to allow some space for elastic. So 1, 2, and then we're going to need 2 lots of elastic for this skirt. So 1, 2, so about to there, I think. I know it's not very scientific, I know, but it doesn't have to be. I'm just going to mark that a little bit so I know where I need to tear down to. Somewhere I've got some fabric pens, but can I find them? Not on your Nelly. So now across we go. Also, don't worry, you don't have to use elastic. You could just thread some thread through and tighten it up. You could even cut a little piece of You could use ribbon, you could use thread, you could cut a strip of your material and use it as a tie around through your elastic tube. We'll call it an elastic tube. So here we are. I'm going to cut my skirt out, and you can adapt it to fit the size doll that you want to use. Here we go. So here's my piece of fabric, which is double the length I want the skirt to be, plus a little space so that I can make a tube to put the elastic through. Like this, elastic, ribbon, piece of fabric, whatever you've got. So basically what we need to do is, if your fabric will fray, you need to edge it. But if you're going to glue it, you don't need to edge it. We need to turn over the top and the bottom, and we need to make a little tube for your elastic to go through. So make sure it's wide enough that your elastic will fit through there. Like I say, this can be sewn, it can be glued, it can be hand sewn. You don't need to don't want to sew. And we need to do that at the top and at the bottom. So this is the edged piece. I can literally just turn that over because it's already edged. I don't need to finish that edge. So I'm going to go away and stitch both of these pieces together now, and then I'll come back. Okay, so here's my pom-pom skirt. You can see that it's sewn across the top there and the bottom, and I've left space to fit in some elastic. As I say, it can be elastic, it can be ribbon, anything you want to use that will gather up this fabric, that's all you need. Here's my black elastic. I'm going to choose black to go with the colour of my skirt. What we need to do is measure around your doll's waist, just roughly, like that. Leave a little bit of extra so that you can tie it or to sew it in a knot, or tie it or sew it to join it together. The next thing I need to do is thread my elastic through the top and through the bottom. When you start threading it through, be careful not to go too far and thread it, pull your elastic through behind your pin. That, you know, if you push it in too far, your elastic will follow you and you'll have to start all over again. When you get your elastic to the end, let me show you. When you've started doing it and you get your elastic to the end bit, like this, just pop a pin or a holder, a bulldog clip, anything on the end there to stop you pulling it all the way through by mistake. So let's get that in there, and I'll do the same at the other end. So there we are, my elastic's through the other end there. I'm going to pop a pin in there too to hold that into position. There we go, and then we need to put the elastic through the other end. So just turn it round and repeat the process. The next thing we need to do is actually to join this elastic up. You could sew it, you could do a knot in it, just get hold of it, and I'm going to just tie a knot in mine. I'll show you why in a minute. Take your pins out. You could either sew across the end there like that by hand, or you could I'm just going to tie it in a little double knot. The reason I'm tying it in a double knot and not sewing down the edge, I'll show you that in a minute. I don't want my particular puffball skirt to go all the way around. I just want it to be a bit more like a bustle, so it comes around, so it's at the back and around the sides, but I don't want it to go all the way round to the front, otherwise I'm worried my doll is going to look as if it's a shotgun wedding. Same for the other end. Get hold of your elastic. The elastic does need to be joined. You can't just not join it, you know, sew each end and not join it, otherwise it won't fit on you, it won't hold up on your doll. So I'm going to pull my knot so that it's inside the gather there, so we can't see the knot. Do that on both ends. I want mine to be a bit more like a bustle. So here's what we need to do next. So let's get the skirt on and we'll pull it up around her waist. So get your top bit here like that. I mean, if you wanted to, you could even leave it like that and have it a long puffball skirt. But that's not what I'm showing you today. So and then get your second piece of elastic and put it just underneath that first bit like so. And here you can see what I mean about it being like a bustle. It's flat at the front here. I'm going to put a fitted skirt on mine underneath this puffball skirt, as I call it, pom-pom skirt. So the next thing we need to do is to, well, it's entirely up to you whether you want to stuff your skirt or not. But if you want your skirt to stand out and look like a bustle or a balloon skirt or a pom-pom skirt, you can stuff it. You can stuff it with tissue paper. You can stuff it with recycled bubble wrap. You could use toy stuffing, or you could use scraps of old material. Once you've got it stuffed to your desired puffiness, you then can fasten up these ends. So you could glue down here, you could sew down here, or I guess you could even just leave it if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. Now, if you did want your puffball skirt to go all the way round, just literally bring both bits together and stitch both ends together like that and put this seam at the back when you're done. It's entirely up to you. But I want mine like this. So I will stuff it, I will stitch it down here, and I will decorate it with some lace or something. And like I say, I'm going to have a fitted skirt underneath mine too. So that's my vision for my goth bride dress. I do hope you will pop along and visit Marna's tutorial for today. I'll pop it in the links below. I hope that was useful to someone. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.